Hello everyone, Professor John here with a couple of thoughts on agreement, this week's topic in the Cambrian Grammar Resource. Your grammar resource is a bit old school, but there are some basics that remain. It wants all agreement to match in number, for example, and that refers specifically to verbs, for example. So if you have a singular subject, the verb form that matches it should be singular, plural subject, plural verb. It also refers to pronouns and nouns. If you have a singular noun, referring to it later should be done with a singular pronoun. It wants all agreement to be non-sexist. Now, that's where the bit of old school kicks in. Consider the sentence below. The sentence shows technically correct agreement in number. However, it's a bit sexist. Each team member must countersign his work hours log with his supervisor. So we have a singular noun, member, being referred to with a singular pronoun, his. But what if a team member could be female? The his doesn't work. So this is today considered a sexist sentence. How do you fix this? Well, it usually means two pronouns need to be dropped in place of the singular his. So each team member must countersign his work hours log with his supervisor. Those two hises have to be changed. Here's the old school revision number 1. Each team member must countersign his or her work hours log with his or her supervisor. Now, his or her, both singular pronouns, both referring to the singular noun. This is correct. And it's a bit old school, and I'll explain why in a little while, but it is technically correct and is non-sexist. Old school revision number 2. All team members must countersign their work hours log with their supervisor. This revision now has a plural subject, noun, members, and a plural pronoun, their. And notice that the plural pronoun does not carry gender with it. So this now is non-sexist. Now, why is it old school? Believe it or not, despite its myriad rules, grammar is a mutable thing. Grammar norms and rules change through time. Today, the clumsy and awkward old school his or her approach is going the way of the dodo. Well, which, what I think about it now, is also an old school expression. Here's a contemporary revision of that same sentence. Each team member, singular noun, must countersign their work hours log with their supervisor. So today, you would see this in any kind of writing. Magazines, newspapers around. If you check, this is the contemporary way of making this sentence non-sexist, but without going to the bother of trying to change the original noun to a plural form. So we have a singular noun, member, and we are referring to it with the non-gender plural pronoun, their. And today, this is pretty common. The problem for you is that although this is contemporary and common today, this is not what the Cambrian Grammar Resource still looks at. Cambrian Grammar Resource is old school. It wants you to repair the sentences to reflect non-gender writing using one of the two versions of corrections as we've seen before. Either use something like his or her, or change the original noun to a plural form and use their. But you cannot go from the singular noun to the plural pronoun their. For some grammarians, old school dies hard. When you write your second grammar test, all questions that deal with agreement, such as I have been discussing, must reflect old school forms. The correct answers must also reflect the old school rules. Remember then that agreement in number, a singular plural subject with a singular or plural verb, is one kind of agreement, and that hasn't changed. However, the noun-pronoun agreement norms have changed in the real world. Just not yet in Cambrian's Grammar Resource and associated testing. Old school grammarians are stubborn and elitist and probably alcoholics, but, well, that's a talk for another day.